Thank you, Maren Morris, JP Saxe. You guys look healthy and excited. I know you've been probably through a little bit of a gauntlet this morning already.
Happy to arrive on the other side of that gauntlet to you, Gabe.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you both. The Grammys are coming up this weekend. Both of you are nominated, and hopefully you'll come home with all the hardware that's completely possible for you to do. Maybe if you take it from someone else, that's fine. They're not going to notice it's gone. It's just a Grammy award. Line by Line, obviously the big song right now you two have put out together, available wherever you hear music, streaming platforms, radio stations, just like this one, are playing it. And it is such a beautiful record. And I think you both bring so much to it individually. What was that process like for you, seeing the talents and just seeing it all play out?
I mean, well, I was extremely excited and appreciative that Maren was down to write with me in the first place. I'm a huge fan of her and her music. I don't know why I keep telling this story because it's objectively embarrassing, but I drove to the studio the day we wrote this song, listening to her album Girl, just rocking out, which was equal parts motivating and just like hype me up, and also semi-intimidating because that album is just so phenomenal. And you know, luckily when we arrived to the session and when we worked together, just we had a natural conversation that just was easy and fun and turned into a song that we both love.
Maren, I know you obviously have done some collaborations that have been massive records over the course of your career. What was the feeling like coming into this project with JP?
Really effortless. I love just writing or collaborating with people that I'm a fan of. I feel like I'm really fortunate enough at this point in my career to be able to reach out or just get into a room with people that I'm psyched about, and JP is one of them. And I think the chemistry of us writing together was just so fluid that day that we wrote line by line. And yeah, I mean, obviously I fell in love with the song the second we got the demo back. Like later that day, I think myself and JP both knew that we had something special on our hands.
After these interviews, I haven't done this yet. I'm gonna scroll back in our thread with Jimmy Robbins, who we wrote the song with, for when he first sent the demo, because I do remember both of us saying pretty enthusiastic things right off the jump, being like,
yeah, we were psyched. I was so pumped. I love that Jimmy, he works so quickly too. So the best thing about him is like instant gratification. He sends the demo an hour after you write the song, and you can just freak out the rest of the night over it, which is what we did.
Good move. It works.
Yeah.
Was it a relatively good freak out, or do you get in that critical space where suddenly now you're hearing, oh, I could have gone this direction, or we could have changed that? Or was it just, wow, this is really good, and we're not going to go back. We're not going to fine tooth comb this.
I mean, for me, the critical stage happens like 4 to 5 days later.
Okay.
I give myself like a few days of just like childish, giddy joy. And then when how do we make this into its full potential of a record? That's when like the critical, put a magnifying glass to every detail hat goes on.
Okay, that makes sense. The song Line by Line, I think on the surface to the casual listener, is a very romantic song. It obviously talks about love and that connection. But Maren, obviously as a new mother, this really is also for this is for people in your family. I think it kind of applies. Is that a crazy way to look at it? Is that something that maybe, when you look as a mother, like you would have these same feelings for the love that you have for your child? Or am I just being crazy? Am I just talking way too much?
Well, I mean, I definitely wrote it about my husband, who is also a songwriter. And I think this was such a critical time for our relationship is this year. And we've never seen this much of each other. This is our first kid. And, I was writing it from the perspective of, sort of a devotion love letter to my husband. And, but no, I think that our relationship is definitely, deepened over the last year. And part of that is just being home with the pandemic. And then part of it is becoming new parents. And I think, it's really just a letter to him, this song.
Cool. So I totally made it weird. Love that for me.
No, I didn't write it to my son, but hey, whatever way
Whatever fits.
Yeah.
Music impacts people so differently that you could never guess. Yes. Yeah. So JP, If the World Was Ending, obviously nominated for a Grammy this upcoming weekend. You're sharing that nomination with Julia in a lot of ways. Most couples, I think, share things like Netflix passwords. And, we won this wings eating trophy 3 4th of Julys ago. How much more does it mean, something so prestigious, to share with someone who means so much to you?
Now that you mention it, we don't share Netflix passwords.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but maybe you're onto something.
We've lived together for almost a year now, and we still have our own streaming service.
You're paying twice as much?
I hadn't really thought about it. It's so wasteful. So yes, we're sharing things illustriously, such as Grammy nominations, but we're not sharing things efficiently. What we could have consolidated in our monthly bills.
That's hilarious.
I think we also both pay for Postmates Unlimited, which is silly also.
It's going to the same house.
What are y'all doing?
We're tripping. It's just the whole thing makes no sense. I think after the Grammys, we need to sit down and really just consolidate what our
finances.
Like. Yeah, it's wasteful is what it is.
I love it. Maren, maybe you can share some of the budgeting tips for cohabitation and some of the places to cut corners.
My husband definitely uses all of my streaming services.
He's got it figured out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, both of you. I know that you're not long on time, but I want to wish you both the best of luck this weekend. Maren, I'm looking forward to your performance with John, and I hope that you both walk away from this weekend very happy. And again, very excited, line by line, available all streaming platforms and wherever you consume music. So JP Saxe, Maren Morris, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Yeah.